Palestine, Lebanon, mention it. You will see the norms of the day in those areas. Hundreds of deaths are recorded on daily basis. In those areas, you see thousands of people being described as homeless people. Meanwhile, they were having full accommodation. You would see a number of the dwellers in those areas being chased out from their houses, and maybe the better place to accommodate those people is to lock down educational centers and schools only to shelter these people temporarily. And you would also realize that a number of those people who were living in their abode peacefully, some of them will be trying to migrate at all costs. The scenario and what is happening in those areas is nothing but the reason why the Northern Region Muslim Council organized this Durba. These people, very short and brief, they are lacking the theme of our sitting, and that is the absence of peace that rendered them where they find themselves. Mr. Chairman, elders on the high table, invited guests, Nachin Nanama, youth, the media, and all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, most gracious, the merciful, may He send His peace and blessings to our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his households, his companions, and all those who follow his guidance till the day of reckoning. Mr. Chairman, may I seek permission to bulletin my message in just a brief 3 segments due to the time factor. Is it granted? To our dear listeners, the topic on board is about the youth, their behavior, how they are supposed to conduct themselves before, during, and after the elections. In fact, a human being and a peace, they are coexisting elements. The humanity can never ever be observed if peace is lacking. The human nature cannot dwell well and cannot be prospective if peace is lacking in that human's life. So therefore, peace and security in human life is a key tool which shouldn't under any circumstance be missing. Else say salamu alaikum to that person's life. That is why, in the first place, when you consider peace in Islam, Islam as our dear religion has given peace and security much and crucial attention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He explained about the people of Saba. He said, Siru fiha layali wa ayaman amini. Dwell, move in, day in and night in peace. And this means that these people couldn't have moved from one place to another in order to achieve anything worthy without movement. We are gathered here for the benefit of movement. If we had remained seated in our various homes, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to have these blessings. So movement in human's life, assuming a day will break and you will be chained down in your own house, you can't be able to move from one place to another. You cannot even be able to leave your house, go to the mosque and pray. Your children cannot move from house to the school and makaranta. You imagine the situation on that day. And it is a peace that is making that movement in a human society successfully. This peace, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is shown the Quraysh, the dwellers of Mecca, the people of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, among his great bounties on them was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he provided them with peace and said, wa amanahum min khawf. He gave them peace and security against a fear. A situation whereby somebody is lacking security in even his or her abode. Life will be disastrous at that time. That's why in Islam, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made us to understand that a chief and a king in Islamic perspective is anybody who has been blessed with three qualities. If you have those three bounties, three qualities, then you are indeed a chief in your own house. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man asbaha minkum aminan fi sirbi, man asbaha minkum aminan fi sirbi, mu'afa fi jasadi, lahu qutu yawmi, faka'annama hizat lahu dunya bihasafiriha." Rawahu al-Imam al-Bukhari fi al-Adab al-Mufrad wa Tirmizi. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us the importance of peace in human life. That whoever among you wake up in the morning, realize that there is security and there is peace within his abode, and he is feeling well within his body. He is having what to sustain him on that very day. Then it looks as if Allah has given him the entire world. You have everything. People who are lacking peace, they are ready to suppress anything valuable in order to get peace. In order to get peace. And destruction of peace is destruction of their land. It's destruction of their world. Now, the youth, they are the key players of peace in any society. But I'm going to use the second segment of my presentation to bulletin a number of issues that contract and that have the direct effects on the youth behavior, particularly during the elections. There are a number of factors that affect the youth behavior positively or negatively during the elections. One is lack of education. The youth, they are not supposed to be educated only when the elections is getting nearer. They are supposed to be engaged throughout the time, because lack of education is ignorance, and another name of ignorance is death. If you don't have knowledge about what is supposed to be done and when and how, then you don't have a place in this life. So the civic education should be spread everywhere. The youth, they should be followed as even their various ghettos and verandas. They should be followed wherever they are to be spoken to. This is very, very important. If they keep on getting more education, getting more enlightenment about the importance of peace, and for their own sake, not for the sake of anybody. Subhanallah al-Azim. Sometimes you may see most of the elders, all the parties who are vowing for the power, though none of them would come to Tamale and they will fail to visit They will visit him, greeted him, and they will be laughing and things like that. So what is your problem? What is your problem? So the peace, when we talk of peace, it means your only benefit. You as a youth is your solely benefit. As Chairman already said, and I would like to borrow his word, we are talking about you as a youth, your future. You as a youth, your future. The second issue that affects the youth behavior during the time of election, positively or otherwise, is the behavior of the referee in the election, and that is the EC Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission, in as much that youth are in need to be talked to be advised and admonished, the EC, all those who are concerned, they should make an effort to reach out to the EC. Let them understand that the stability of our dear nation lies in their hand. Any misbehavior towards what they do, it can lead Ghana, the whole country, to where we don't want to be, to where we don't expect. To where we don't expect. They are the referee. They should have the same standard from any party. They are referees. Islam is recommending them. They should speak the truth no matter what the situation. They should exhibit justice no matter what the outcome. Irrespective of what is going to happen, the justice must be administered by the referee. Else, this lead to it makes a number of youth a situation where they are lacking confidence in the referee. That's the time that some of them may decide to take the laws into their hands. And when when the youth takes the law into their hands, you expect the outcome and what is going to happen. The third issue that affects the behavior of the youth during the election is myself and you. I mean the Islamic scholars or the religious leaders. These people, that institution, it plays a vital role when it comes to election and how to channel the direction and the behavior of youth during the elections. A spiritual leader, a religious leader remain as such. A situation whereby the pulpit, the member will be allowed to be politicized, it affects the youth negatively. It affects the youth negatively. An imam, you expect NDC behind you, and you expect MPP and whatever P behind you, and whatever D behind you. So you should behave yourself. A situation whereby an imam has the guts to use his pulpit, to use his imamship, to do pure politics. Tell me, what have you left to the politicians again? What have you left to the politicians again? This doesn't mean that you are not being allowed Islamically to associate. Each and every one of us is having his favorite area. You have those whom you like, you have those whom you prefer, but you still maintain your status quo as an imam or the representative of the prophet on this world.